So who else is in play? I mean, big name guys between now and I guess a week from tomorrow night when the draft is hitting. Dave, who else is in play, do you think?
Well, there's been a lot of talk about the Memphis Grizzlies after they traded Desmond Bane to the Magic, and they got those 4 first-round draft picks along with Kentavious Caldwell-Pope. But my understanding that they will not be moving on from Ja Morant and Jaren Jackson Jr. Now, because they made that trade, and I think drew a lot of attention from the trade, they're going to continue to get calls from around the league. And sometimes those calls can create a trade package or scenario that maybe the team hadn't anticipated, and that can make them change their tune. But I don't anticipate them breaking things up further. I think you look around, obviously on the Lakers side of things, there's been some speculation as to whether they will move Austin Reaves, basically sell high before he would be eligible for a big time extension. I don't think that will happen. And again, it would have to be kind of a scenario or a package that landed at their feet that they weren't anticipating that could make them change. Giannis Antetokounmpo, we've been talking about for 2 months now. And, I spoke to one of his teammates in the offseason who was training out here in LA. And he told me that, well, why would Giannis want to leave? He has everything with that franchise he could ever ask for. He has say-so when it comes to personnel decisions, say-so when it comes to coaching's decisions. He has a chance to be a single solo franchise guy like Dirk or Kobe. And the Eastern Conference is the easier conference. And so you could have a bit of a down year, recognizing that Dame Lillard is going to be missing time with his Achilles. But then you can rebuild quicker than, say, you were traded to the Western Conference, where you have 13 teams that have a viable pathway to a playoff spot next year. And so, he's someone that I wouldn't anticipate moving. I wouldn't be shocked if he was. But I think we're not quite there yet. And again, what motivation would Milwaukee have to do it? He is the single player that makes their franchise relevant. And he's still young and still has a lot more great basketball left to play. And so that's one I'm not so sure is going to happen. I think as we work our way around the league, I'm keep my eye on the Atlanta Hawks. They had a changeover in their front office. Trae Young, I think there's legitimate questions to be had whether he can be the number one player on a championship contender. And if he's cast in that role he currently is in, it's going to be tough for Atlanta, I think, to really make strides in the Eastern Conference. And maybe either you got to get some more help for him, or you got to move on from him. So those are just a few that come to mind. But listen, we could go through, because there are so many teams that think they have a chance in this parity, even level type of league right now. I think there's going to be a lot of movement. And as we saw with Bane, it could be happening as soon as today.
Catch the Rich Eisen Show live weekdays from 12 to 3 p.m. Eastern on Roku Sports Channel in the U.S.